the wonderful, the beautiful, the majestic Kalamazoo River. Watch here as it slowly meanders its way into Lake Michigan on its 178-mile journey across this great state of Michigan. The beauty of nature.
Hello there. I'm Nels Christensen.
I'm Douglas White, and this here is the Kalamazoo River. The Kalamazoo River flows mostly westward, taking detours along the way until it flows into the Lake Michigan.
The river first begins as two separate branches, the northern branch and the southern branch, which begin in Jackson County and Moscow Township, respectively.
And these two branches come together right here in our very own Victory Park, here in Albion.
After this fork in the river, the Kalamazoo flows through Marshall, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, and Allegan, meeting several tributary rivers and creeks along the way. The river's watershed, or the land area that contributes to our groundwater, rivers, lakes, and streams, ranges 2,020 square miles across 10 counties, and it is inhabited by about 400,000 people, as well as many different plant and animal species. Because of its vastness, the Kalamazoo is critical to southwest Michigan and its residents.
Today, the Kalamazoo River and its surrounding watershed provide vital resources for everything from recreational activities to industrial uses. More specifically, the river and that watershed provide its inhabitants and visitors with recreational activities such as canoeing, swimming, and fishing, as almost every river does. The river and watershed also provide an important source of irrigation to crops and in the surrounding area, which is quite important because about half of the land on the watershed is used for agriculture.
More specific to Albion and the students of Albion College, the river provides us with a wonderful outdoor area that we call the Nature Center. Many people use the Nature Center for work, play, or both. Some people enjoy the Nature Center by running along the trails against the pleasant backdrop of the river and the surrounding woods, while others come to conduct class or do research. Also specific to Albion is the world-class disc golf course, located in Victory Park. Many of the holes incorporate the rivers in some way, shape, or form, and without the river, the course would not be nearly up to the standards that make it a consistent choice for multiple major disc golf tournaments.
The Kalamazoo doesn't just provide for people either. There's a large array of different plant and animal species that also call the ecosystem of the Kalamazoo River home. From muskrats and squirrels to box elders and shingle oaks, these plants and animals depend on the ecosystem of the Kalamazoo River for food, water, and shelter.
Although it may sound as though the Kalamazoo River is thriving, this is not the case. The river has faced many problems in the past, and some of those issues are still prevalent today. The Kalamazoo River has had a rough history of heavy pollution. During the Industrial Revolution, the river was unfortunately used many times to dispose of industrial waste, and the polluted river went unnoticed.
Although the conditions of the river have dramatically improved since the 1950s and 60s when it was at its worst, pollution is still a major issue that the Kalamazoo faces. The oil spill in 2010 has contributed to this problem, but measures have been taken to clean up the spill, and the river has been almost completely restored to its state before. The river's rough history with pollution has caused many other issues with the river, including issues with water quality and water levels, degradation of species, and decay of aesthetics, just to name a few.
Dams are also a pressing issue on the Kalamazoo River. There are currently 11 dams on the Kalamazoo, 7 of which are retired. Dams can have devastating effects on freshwater ecosystems. They contribute a loss of habitat for animals and also affect the migratory patterns of some fish. They also disrupt the natural flow of the river, disrupting the natural physical processes of the river.
Each of these persistent problems will continue to exist and perhaps even worsen, despite the many positive actions taken by local groups, if a more collective, collaborative effort is not made to preserve the river. We as humans need to be more consciously aware of the Kalamazoo River. If we are not, then we risk losing all of the incredible things that the river provides for all species, human, animal, and plant alike. If we continue to go about polluting the river in the various ways that we as individuals, as well as larger entities do, then the entire ecosystem of the Kalamazoo River is in danger. The polluted river could kill off all of the wildlife and vegetation in the river, and could also harm or even kill other animals that call this habitat home. If the river had ceased to exist, it would be no one's fault but our own. We would no doubt lose all recreational activities aforementioned, farmers would perhaps suffer the consequences to the greatest extent, because the water would no longer be sanitary enough to be used to irrigate the crops that we consume and the farmer sells to make his living. We all need to do our part in helping and keeping the river clean and reducing our impact. The river cannot and will not be restored and preserved if only the few people that are already working towards this goal help. Everyone needs to work on reducing their impact on the river, whether it's something as simple as refraining from littering, or it's volunteering at local organizations to assist in the effort even more. People must be aware of two simple things in order to save the Kalamazoo River and its inhabitants from extinction. People must first be aware of how connected they are with the river through the intricate system that is the Kalamazoo watershed, as well as be conscious of their individual impact on the river. Only then can these largely negative impacts be halted, and the Kalamazoo River will once more flow as though the native Potawatomi people are once again caring for it.
Fire!